Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing right now, today, this very second?
Well, technically, it is still Saturday as we're recording this.
It's actually Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
No, Sunday. Sorry. That's right. We pushed it back because things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's the day. It's the correct day that we were planning on doing it this week, but not normally.
Right.
And so
it's
we're
still
still almost correct with regard to this week's podcast time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that today we're still doing
Q&A, not on Saturday, barely on Sunday too.
Yeah, that's the one. We're doing our Q&A. So what are we Q&Aing today?
We're going to talk about salt on babies.
Salt on babies, huh?
I always put salt on my babies before I eat them. Salty babies are delicious.
I see. And this would be part of the Q&A for Ezekiel Chapters 16 through 20, correct?
Correct. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah, that's
right.
what you were actually asking.
Yeah,
I always
right.
get that wrong.
You do. That's all right. That's what I'm here for, to correct you the whole time.
But not to eat the babies. Fuck off.
All right. Are you ready to get into this?
Oh, and how?
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so do you remember this verse in chapter 16 of Ezekiel,
yeah.
On the day you were born, your cord was not cut, nor were you washed with water to make you clean, nor were you rubbed with salt or wrapped in cloths.
I do, because I only remember it because I thought it was odd that they said that the baby was rubbed in salt.
Yeah, like we kind of mentioned it, but like, what the fuck? But then there was so much else that we just kept going.
I almost said something about the salt at that point, but I'm just like, well, it must have just been some sort of older ritual thing, whatever. I didn't really think too much of it at the time, I guess. So
right.
But you did mention that we were talking about salt today.
That's what we're referencing. This is when God or Ezekiel was comparing Israel to a baby that God just found, in an open field.
Right.
And he was like, and then I took you in and I fed you and clothed you and then you grew up to be a whore. So I was like, hang on, before we get to the whoring, can we talk about the salting?
Sure.
So I started with the apologists because that's what I always do.
Yeah.
And they're like, salting the child. The skin is rubbed with salt to make it firm and clean. Blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
Sure.
Cutting the cord, washing, rubbing down the baby with salt, and clothing the newborn were customary traditional acts, lending legitimacy to the legal claim of parenthood over the baby.
And these are things that I would have assumed.
Yeah.
You know, like that sounds
rub-
legit.
You just rub it
so
with salt,
yeah, right,
to
yeah.
clean it up.
I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know why
Right.
you would, rub your kid in salt.
Well,
but hey,
We'll talk about it a
who
little
am I
bit.
to judge practices of 2,000 years ago? That's maybe all they had to do something that needed to be done.
Yeah.
So.
It was more like 2,500 years ago,
Whatever.
but whatever.
A long
Yeah.
fucking time ago.
In the neglect and abandonment of the infant, the parent legally relinquished all rights and responsibilities for the child.
So wait, if you didn't rub your baby with salt, you lost your kid?
It wasn't just rubbing it with salt. It was and washing it and clothing it, and doing all the things you're supposed to do when your baby is born.
So what?
like-
Then they just abandon, then relinquishing claims to the kid means what? Like, does it go up for ritual
Well-
sacrifice at that point? Does it?
Yes, sometimes.
Oh.
Sometimes if a family had too many kids and couldn't afford it, they would relinquish their rights to it. They might either offer it up for sacrifice or they might leave it out in the woods. Or if it was born with a deformity, that means the devil got into it and they're like, fuck this child.
Got it.
So, yeah, they weren't like real.
So maybe sometimes people on purpose didn't perform the rites because they didn't want a deformed baby or something, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of
yeah.
not cool.
So they would, either give it up and not do all the things and just leave it.
Okay.
Or they would sacrifice it or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So many societies today still practice traditional methods to protect babies from magic, witchcraft, or the evil eye. And one of those practices is rubbing the baby down with salt. Yeah. Some of these traditions bring psychological relief for the family, but unfortunately, some may delay the treatment of a disease or even cause harm to the child.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you rub the baby too hard with salt, obviously, it can cause an abrasion.
Yeah.
Or if there are skin conditions, you might be worsening them. Or if there's like a rash, you might be spreading it.
Right.
Those
Right.
kinds of things. Also, the kidneys are not fully developed enough because sometimes they would take the salt inside the baby's mouth
Oh.
to, make sure it has clean breath and to wash all evil spirit out, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and if the baby gets too much salt, their body can't process it, and so then they die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one of the traditional practices performed still today in some parts of Europe and the Middle East is salting of babies. Along with the symbolic and life-giving nature of salt throughout history, salting has been part of traditional practices for millennia.
Okay.
So some of it is because salt has always been seen as this preserving thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It preserves meat, makes it last longer.
Right,
That
right.
kind of thing. So it was viewed as this magical property.
Well, I mean, society essentially was able to start staying in one place because they could store and preserve food. So, I mean,
Exactly.
like, this was a big fucking deal
Right.
for society in general. Just like the salt alone is amazingly important to
Yes.
humanity.
Yes. And it was often used as some kind of part of sealing an agreement in various celebrations
Got
or
it.
like marriages. Like, for example, we had all
Yeah.
of our family combine salt into one container.
We did.
in
And
a
I actually
wedding.
liked that. I mean, it was based on a religious, there was some religious connotation behind it, but not as much as, like we
Well,
agreed.
there was just as much religion as pagan.
Right.
Like, we didn't do it because it was a Christian thing.
Right.
We did it because we just liked the idea behind it
Yeah.
of combining our families, but we didn't want to do like the unity candle because that was too
Right.
stereotypical and Christian.
Yeah. But it was a matter of, like, with our ceremony, it was a matter of mixing the salt so that we could never separate out.
Yes.
Like, you couldn't separate all the salt from the different groups or whatever.
Yeah,
so we were
yeah,
all one family in one group.
Exactly.
And I liked the symbology, symbolism of that. So.
Like, some of our family thought it was kind of silly, but I've still got the salt.
Yeah, I see it right now. I'm looking at it.
It's like one of the few pieces of like sentimentality that we grant.
Right.
We're just very much like, whatever, we're married, I love you, you love me, the end, right?
I mean, to be fair, it's on a what would be considered an old DVD case sitting by the front door. So
yeah. Inside one of those like treasure chests that you get from Michael's.
right.
That I think my brother-in-law like painted silver or something. Yeah. So I mean, it's more goofy than anything, but it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
So it's just fun. And
it does. I think the story and the symbolism more than anything means something to us. That's all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true. So, Homer, not
From the
Homer,
Odyssey?
not Homer Simpson, but dude that wrote the Odyssey or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Or not that wrote it, but was the first to record it.
Sure. Okay.
He said that salt was a sacred substance, and Plato described it as a dear substance of the gods. So, I mentioned those just to kind of bring home the fact that it's not just that we think that it's been highly revered throughout history.
Right.
It actually is recorded historically as being revered.
Right.
So salt thrown into the water is thought to increase its sacred properties. So also, like, even still today, a lot of times if people move into a new house, they'll be gifted salt to throw over the threshold, and that's supposed to grant them luck or something like that.
Right.
Luck or prosperity, or to block out evil spirits. Or, I mean, even in like the show Supernatural, they would draw circles of salt to keep the ghosts out. You know, like, it's just always been a thing.
And I know there's an old wives' tale or whatever, an old superstition where if you spill salt, you have to like throw some over your shoulder or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's all about.
I wish I had thought to look that up. Like, what is that about? But maybe we'll talk about that another time.
But there's a lot with regard to salt in our collective history of human beings.
Yes.
You know, like it's definitely present.
Because it is an abrasive too, it is good for cleaning. Like, if you have like one of those skillets that you're not supposed to like toss in the
cast iron skillets.
Yeah, the cast iron skillets. You can actually wash it using salt.
Yeah, one it's suggested that you do that because like that actually preserves a lot of the, stuff that you want to keep on the cast iron skillet. So
right. So a lot of people in early times knew that it was a great cleaning agent, so they applied that to humans and to skin, and particularly to babies who came out looking slimy and gross.
Sure.
So it helped them, clean the baby off real quick.
But you don't want to put salt on the wound.
Never put salt on the wound.
Don't do that.
Yeah. So salting is performed as part of rituals of redemption. In the Bible, scrubbing with salt was among the practices recorded immediately after the birth of a baby.
Okay.
Which kind of what I just said.
Yeah.
This practice is maintained today among some Jewish communities, as well as in Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Qatar, North Arabia, Western Iran, and Turkey. It has spread to some parts of the Balkans and Greece through the influence of the Turks. And I will mention that while I was researching this, the people who seemed to still ascribe to this were either Turkish or Mexican. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like your old wives' tales and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. I read one story about like on Reddit where this mom was saying, "Am I the asshole for yelling at my mother-in-law?" Because we had told her we don't ascribe to such nonsense, but then the baby was having a sick tummy, and so one day when the old mom was babysitting, like the grandma was babysitting, she rubbed the baby's belly with salt and olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And like the mom was like, it's not that what she did was harmful to the baby. I'm sure, was nothing, but it was the fact that she did it, even though we had explicitly said, don't do it. We don't want to rub our baby with salt. Thank you.
Sure.
So anyway, that's irrelevant. My point is that this was a Mexican family, and I saw lots of stories of Mexican old women doing these old wives' tales, as well as Turkish families that still ascribe to these. So I just thought it was interesting when you're kind of breaking down where these stories have gone.
Older cultures, it seems like, is where it kind of resides still, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
So.
The old wives' tales are still alive and well.
Sure. Yeah.
Immediately after birth in these stories, the baby is salted to prevent a bad smell, to prevent sweating and rashes, and to ensure a nice, smooth, puffy body. Salting babies is also thought to bring abundance and blessings to the newborn, as well as to ward off arrogance. Yeah, don't be arrogant. So your mom should have washed you in salt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I liked that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you need to wash up with some salt.
Right, yeah.
You're a little arrogant sometimes.
I am.
But, I love you. Sprinkling the newborn with salt as a ritual signifies integrity, purity, and dedication. This is patterned after salted offerings made to God.
I didn't even know there were salted offerings made to God.
A lot of the peace offerings and the other, I forget, the
right.
sin
I mean, I
offerings
remember
and
this.
whatever.
I just don't remember them mentioning salt as part of that practice, I guess. So, man, I just probably am not remembering correctly, but
I don't specifically remember, but it goes along with the same thing.
Sure.
So, although there are cultural differences, salting may be performed on the 3rd, 4th, 7th, 20th, and 40th days after birth.
Okay.
So, sometimes you just do a one and done, but then in some cultures, or even from family to family in the same culture, it might differ.
Yeah.
You might come back on these other days to do it again, to re-up.
Make sure it takes.
Yeah.
All right.
Or it may be like you only do it on the 7th day. Or whatever. Like, these are all the various days.
Sure.
Some only and some more than once.
Different groups have different rituals.
Right. And again, it's not just the different cultures. It can be different from house to house in the same culture.
Right.
They can't even agree on like what and where and how much.
Yeah.
So this practice is performed by scrubbing the baby's whole body with salt, especially the neck, armpit, perineum, feet, palms, and inside of the mouth. So, all the places you might stink most.
Yeah.
And not good,
Right.
It may be performed by washing the newborn baby's body with fine salt alone or with salty water, which salty water might be a little bit better, but still let's not.
Right.
And a lot of times honey and sugar may also be added to salt to be applied to certain parts of the body.
Interesting.
And I'm like, but that's so sticky, though.
Right. Yeah, that seems to be counterproductive, but hey, whatever.
Although honey is renowned for having a lot of healing qualities to it. So, I don't know. Anyway, current findings indicate there is a good reason that such a procedure is not advised in practice today. And medical professionals caution that parents, grandparents, and caregivers need to be extremely wary of salting an infant.
I would imagine.
Even small amounts of salt can be dangerous for babies' kidneys and organs, which are not equipped to handle more than what is found in their mother's milk, which that tracks.
Yeah.
However well-intentioned, salt applied to an infant's skin and in its mouth can be harmful or worse, fatal.
Wow.
Yeah. After a number of babies had been admitted into Jordan Hospital with symptoms of hypernatremia, which is too much salt, 4 doctors in the neonatal ICU published a 2012 report called Salting Newborns, Pickling Them or Killing Them, a practice that should be stopped. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And what's really interesting is I read some of the report, and they interviewed a bunch of moms on the maternity ward, like 112 of them.
Yeah.
And it must have just been the area had a lot of these older cultures.
Yeah.
Because a large portion of them either were into salting their babies or had been told by their moms that they should salt the babies.
Yeah.
Or their grandmothers had instructed them, so they knew about it, but weren't really one way or the other about it. But like, it was prevalent. The knowledge of it, at least, was prevalent.
Sure.
And then a lot of them, the doctors, since they found that it was so prevalent, they created pamphlets to pass out to these people to explain the harms and to discourage them from doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it strikes me that the medical profession in general throughout history has been put in a very interesting place in society with regard to teaching people the harm of their traditional practices.
Well,
right?
It is hard. It is a difficult position because for the longest time, it was the religious community that was doing the medical care.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I empathize with the medical practitioners because they really are in a tough spot having to teach people, essentially having a theological discussion with people before you start treating, Right.
They're like, thanks for all that you've done for centuries, but we'll take it from here.
Right.
And like the older cultures are like, I'm sorry, excuse you. And typically it's a man, and medical care always fell to women. So a lot of time women in these older cultures are like, I hear you mansplaining, but you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Sure.
Which kind of gets into like the whole witchcraft. And, as men became more into taking over the medical care, they didn't like when women were still practicing. And so they accused them of witchcraft when all they were doing was trying to continue their medical care that they knew.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just interesting. The whole, like you brought up, the religious versus science and how they haven't always been on the same side. And sometimes they were switched from where they are today.
Right. And I guess the part that I find interesting is just the direct confrontation that is forced because of science is butting up against tradition right here, right there in that medical treatment facility, right?
Yes.
Like you literally have the scientist and the patient. And the patient is saying, I want to do things this way. The doctor, the scientist is saying, no, that's not correct. Like there's literally a theological divide, one person to the next, which you don't find that in many other areas in society.
I mean, it wasn't so long ago that nurse, I can't remember how long ago, but it was only a few hundred years ago, that the nurse involved in this. And I think it was like during the Civil War or something was like, you're carrying germs, sir doctor, from one patient to the next.
Right.
I think maybe we need to wash our hands between patients.
Yeah.
And she was like laughed out.
Right.
Until like some other doctor took up her cause and was like, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So
no, it wasn't.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. No, it's one of the reasons I love science because it's constantly evolving from, practices that are archaic and harmful.
Even in itself.
Yeah.
Harmful even in its own community.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Did you have anything else for us today, or was that pretty much it?
That was pretty much it. Just wanted to talk about how we like to salt our babies.
Okay. Well, before we hop out of here, I have one thing that I want to say because I have to say it out loud to our fans because it's something that we were watching the other night and I really wanted to tell everybody about it. And I think it's a fantastic idea. And if anybody has the ability to do this, I think you should. So you all know that we love Star Trek.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So we were watching Voyager, and it was the end of a season going into the beginning of a new season. And there was this
It was going into season 4.
Yeah, okay. There you go. And the episode that we watched had the Borg in it. And they were being destroyed by this other race of, like, bug things or whatever. It
looked like the xenomorphs from the Alien franchise.
Yeah. So, but there was a point where the crew was walking around on the Borg ship. The Voyager crew was walking around on the Borg ship, and it was like a haunted house. And
you were
look.
So taken with this.
I was. I think it's a fantastic idea, and I looked it up. There are no Borg haunted houses out there. There needs to be a Borg haunted house. It'd be so fucking cool and creepy and awesome. I think that is like somebody needs to make that. They'll make it's probably going to be in Vegas, right? You got to do it in Vegas because where else the fuck would you do it?
Right.
I just can't imagine anywhere else you would do it. But like a Borg haunted house, it needs to be a thing.
There used to be an Enterprise in Vegas.
There did.
And I'm very disappointed that you never took me there before it
I'm very sorry.
Because we were going to go repeat our vows there
If somebody builds a Borg haunted house for us because of what we're saying, I will fucking go to that Borg haunted house wherever the fuck it is. Okay? But I need somebody to make it. And it needs to happen, in my lifetime, and that would be amazing.
Now, see, what I thought you were going to bring up with regard to the Star Trek thing was the fact that in this episode, we were introduced to 7 of 9.
We were.
And we only recently finished watching The Next Generation before we started watching Deep Space Nine and Voyager in conjunction with each other.
Right.
And we both swear, both from our childhoods as well as from our recent viewing, that Seven of Nine was fucking introduced in The Next Generation.
Right.
And
but it's not. They
she's
weren't.
not.
Yeah.
She wasn't even on the show.
Yeah.
And we're like, but I don't understand.
Right. When you told me, because we saw that she was going to be in this episode, and I was like, how does that work?
Right.
That was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, how does
that timeline?
Why did she get recaptured by the Borg or something? And like, neither of us were questioning each other. But then you went and looked it up, and she was never in Star Trek Next Generation. I'm like, that can't be true.
That can't be true. Like, we're in an alternate timeline right now. Because here's the thing.
It's like the Berenstain Bears.
It's
like the Mandela effect.
It's the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Because we both specifically remember a conversation that we had during our recent watching of Next Generation where I said, I thought she was on this a lot longer. I thought she was a regular character.
Right.
And then I was like, I looked it up and she does become a regular character on Voyager, which I didn't know.
I can literally see her standing in Lieutenant Yar's spot doing the security job. Like, I swear that's where she was.
I don't know about that. I don't remember that.
I visualized that in my mind. Like, I feel like that was her position. And I swear I remember her standing, like, I have images in my head of Seven of Nine standing on the fucking bridge of the Enterprise.
And here's something else. Neither of us really watched Voyager much at all when we were kids.
That was like, I was graduated and I didn't watch much Star Trek at that point.
And I was already like in the Army and out on my own by then, like probably without even a TV.
But both you and I have a very strong impression of Seven of Nine.
Right. So where did that come from?
I have no idea.
And that she was a regular character.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah, no, it blows me away. Blows me away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have sworn that she was Star Trek Next Generation.
And she wasn't.
She wasn't.
At all. Not even as a guest. So why do I remember this conversation that we just had?
I don't know.
Weird.
But it was really weird.
And that's where I thought you were going with Star Trek, not the Borg haunted house, but the Seven of Nine mystery.
Yeah, that was definitely a weird. Yeah. We definitely still are struggling with the idea that she wasn't on Star Trek Next Generation.
Somebody else vindicate us.
Please,
tell us that, yes, you remember the same.
Right. Tell us this is like, we're not crazy. Well, I mean, we are crazy because it's wrong, apparently. But, we didn't think we were. So it is what it is. But
tell us that you remember it the way we remember it.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, there's our Star Trek update for the month.
Yeah.
But I had to get that out because it was just like, it would. Anyway, someone build that, please.
Yes,
and also Seven of Nine. Tell us do you agree with us or something.
Build the Borg haunted house and tell us if Seven of Nine was on Next Generation in your memory.
Yeah.
The end.
Right. All right. That was our Q&A for today for Ezekiel Chapters 16 through 20.
Indeed.
And I'll be getting out the weekly wrap up here in just a few minutes after we get done with this, and then we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow. Well.
In the morning.
By the time you get this, maybe today. Mm-hmm. But whatever. We'll be back as soon as this episode's over doing our...
Ezekiel Chapter 21.
That's right. All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye!
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.